Welcome back, or welcome if you're a first time viewer. On this podcast, we usually talk about wrestling. If that's something that you're into, subscribe and let's get into it. This week on Raw, we have matches that include Javon Evans, Sol Ruka. They each had some matches, and Javon had a match against JD McDonough, and Big Cass came back out and interfered and caused a problem. And I don't know. His name's not even Big Cass anymore. I think it's Bill or whatever they're going to call him. But it's just, his gimmick's just not, there's no reason behind it. Of course, he beats the crap out of Javon, and then Javon gets those, get back in here. And they fight again. But, like, obviously, Javon is no match for that guy because he's, like, tall and built. Match was okay though, but I mean, anytime JD and Javon are wrestling, they're pretty good active wrestlers. Like pretty athletic. Sol Ruka had a match against Lyra Valkyra, and this gimmick with Valkyra kind of makes me laugh because she looks like a 90s grunge look. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but she fought Sol Ruka and Sol Ruka defeated her. So, and I've also heard that Sol Ruka, they took the belt away from Sol because she just wasn't that interesting with the title. She wasn't getting the crowd. So, I mean, when something like that happens, they just yank the belt from you because it's not gonna work. Then we had, of course, our favorite topic, the bloodline drama, which I'd like to say that it's like so boring. They have opportunities to do stuff, but what happened is Jey Uso delivered Solo to Roman in the middle of the ring. Obviously, they beat Solo up, broke his glasses. Fatu gave him the finger, 10 finger, whatever it's called. And Solo was laying on the ground, kind of, and they were going to beat him up. All of a sudden, LA Knight comes out. Well, LA Knight interfered and stopped what was happening, and they gripped him up. And when they gripped him up, they told Solo to give him the Samoan Spike. Well, when he went to go give him the Samoan Spike, he was telling him, I'm sorry for this, and then he took the Samoan Spike and hammered it to Roman. Well, knocked Roman down and they fought. Solo did his little pew pew, pulled out his fingers out of his jacket like a gun and pointed it at Jey. Jey got thrown out of the ring. So it was chaotic, but it was good, but it's not what I would want. It's not the story that they could have had. But we'll discuss that in a little bit. So Solo really didn't acknowledge Roman Reigns. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it looks like they pulled the trigger too fast. The women's division, we had Stephanie Vakir and Becky Lynch brawled with the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day was out there and they confronted Stephanie Vakir, and Vakir said, the only way you will win is because there's all three of you and you're going to attack me. Well, of course, that's what they do. And then Becky comes out to save Stephanie, so to speak, I guess. And they kind of get into it a little bit, a little face to face. But in all reality, I think that Stephanie and Becky is a good booking for a tag team. I think they're hating each other enough. I think that would work. And I think that's what they're gearing up to because obviously the Judgment Day has Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. So, I mean, there's a lot. 2 against 3. It never works. Then, Chad Gable had his match against Rey Mysterio, which I think is cool. It was an Intercontinental Championship match. But I mean, in realistic, it's a waste of time because you should have had it at a main event because we all know Chad Gable ain't gonna ditch that belt. He just won it. I feel like these matches are pointless when they do this stuff on Raw or SmackDown because they're not gonna ditch that belt. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and I understand they have to have title defenses, but work up to it. Don't just start handing out defense titles. Ray Phoenix also had a match against El Fiscal, which I love. I think the guy is great. Ray Phoenix also, I think they're both great. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm impressed with AAA as a whole. Great, great wrestling promotion. Definitely check it out. And Ray Phoenix defeated him. I mean, it was a lot of work though. Um, but it was a number one contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So there's one more. I think there's one more qualifier, or it already happened. Not too sure. Dragon Lee also had a match against Dr. Wagner Jr. That was also a world heavyweight number one contenders match. All these contender matches are pretty hype. They're pretty good, pretty fast paced. Ray Phoenix won his. Dragon Lee won his. They're high paced, and if you like crazy athleticism, man, like Javon and all that, AAA is where it's at. They are there. I feel like they pulled the trigger on Solo getting revenge on them way too early in the storyline. It could have been awesome. Could have been so awesome if Solo would have destroyed the bloodline from the inside out. Maybe one week he takes out Jay, the next week he takes out Jimmy, the next week he takes out Fatu, and if Zilla comes in, he takes him out, and then Roman's by himself, and everybody else is injured. So I would have liked to see that happen. That would have been much more comedic for Solo. He is hilariously over. I'm telling you, this guy's got the mic skill. I'm okay with the story, what they're doing. I'm just glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't do anything with Roman Reigns. I'm glad he didn't, acknowledge him or whatever that shit is. I'm just glad. I'm glad they're not making Solo bitch out. That's terrible. Solo deserves a run. Okay. So I just think they did that, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. Um, and then, we'll move on to SmackDown. SmackDown started off with, you know, not anything crazy. Nick Aldis was talking to Sammy, and Sammy was complaining about his missed wrestling match opportunity where he could have won the title and blah 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 and playing the violin and it's just I don't know. I feel bad that they've given Sammy this because it's not good. Okay, it's not good for Sammy. We don't need to boo Sammy. Okay, just like Gargano, who's been laying on objects for like 9 months. I'm sorry that this is your gimmick. That sucks. Okay, it sucks. You deserve so much better because you're such a better wrestler than that. But these are what they're given, and that's what they're gonna do. And props to Gargano, man. Johnny Gargano has been literally paid for 7 months to just lay there and not say nothing. If you're gonna make a living, I understand he wants to wrestle. I mean, he's a good wrestler too, so it kind of sucks. But that's what WWE does. They don't like someone, they let everybody know it, and it's stupid. But yeah, so Sammy started complaining. He was mad because Randy Orton interfered, and he was complaining, talking shit about Randy. And Nick Aldis, of course, says, "Don't do that," because Randy was right behind him. Well, then Randy and Sammy were kind of like, talking, and then Cody Rhodes comes on the mic out in the ring, and he's calling out Randy, and he tells Randy to come on out. I'm gonna kick your ass. Let's do this right now. And Nick Aldis is like, no, 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 I'll go handle this. Well, he goes out to the ring, and Sammy and Randy Orton are kind of like beefing a little bit in the back. And Randy's like, stop. I gotta go out there and handle something. So then Randy goes out there. And they cut a promo. They cut a promo about how Cody can't be the bad guy, which I feel like Paul Heyman is going to have a hand in this, okay? That's why they cleared his schedule, I believe. That's why they got rid of the Vision. That's why Brock is gone. He ain't got nobody else to manage. I think it's going to be Cody. I'm telling you. He said Paul Heyman's catchphrase. So I'm telling you right now, I honestly believe that is up next. And hey, you know what? Let's see Cody bad. I'm kind of tired of seeing Cody, good guy Cody. Okay? Sometimes you have to be bad to get over again. And we'll have to see where it goes. But it's okay. I don't mind seeing Cody versus Randy. We all knew it would go there. But like this Sami Zayn, stop. He hits everybody with the belt. He interferes in everything. And it just doesn't make sense why he does that. Next is Damian Priest and R-Truth against the MFTs. The new and improved MFTs, which they got Haku with them, which I I like this, and I like the whole angle, but at the same time, this match is so pointless. Where we go again, talking about pointless matches. I'm not dissing Damien or Truth. I'm just saying they just lost those titles last week. The MFTs are a week strong with these titles. They're not giving them up. They're not going to lose this match. They're not going to take the titles away. So obviously, we're just seeing this match. Bring in some newcomers. Have some newcomers lose to these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have this feud going on, and it just needs to be like. But this is the problem. We already know where Damian Priest is going. He's already signed with AAA. He's already been over there advertised. So this is just him jumping ship pretty soon. And I will say, after this match, R-Truth lost a match for him, and Damian did come in with an upset look on his face. So I could be predicting a spoiler here too. I think he might turn on Truth. Because they wouldn't show that if there was no reasoning, okay? They wouldn't show that for no reason. So, just saying, I feel like that's coming this way. Future prediction there. WWE has its ways. There was some backstage heat with Fatal Influence, which I'm not a fan of, and I think they pulled the trigger way too fast on this group. But they had a little run in with Tiffy and Paige and Chelsea Green backstage. And that looks like that's going to be a triple threat, like a triple tag match kind of thing. So we'll have to follow that and see where that goes. It's really early in stages right now, so we're just going to have to see because obviously Chelsea Green isn't even cleared to wrestle yet. Um, Next, we had Trick come out with Little Yachty, and they were back together again. I love this crew. I didn't like him at first. I didn't like Little Yachty, but he's funny, and I give his props. He takes his bumps. So, hey, it's interesting. He's okay. He's one of those people that I don't mind in the ring because he does a good job with the mic. But he comes out and Trick confronts Baron and says, the only reason why you've beat me every time is because you cheated. And you cheated every single time. So Baron came out and he came in the ring on his motorcycle, trying to be like the dead man or whatever he's doing is just not a gimmick I like, okay? I'm not a fan of Baron, sorry. But he comes out and he gets in the ring, and Little Yachty hits him with his kendo stick and hits him again and again. And he gets outside the ring, and Baron's like fed up. Baron's like fed up, and he's like, "Fine, I'll tell you what. You want a title match? This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna fight Little Yachty for 5 minutes, and if he survives, then you get your title match." So that's where that's going, and that'll be humorous. I think Little Yachty's gonna win. I'm not gonna lie. I think Little Yachty's gonna win because they haven't changed the belt yet, and that's a long time, man. They change those emblems right away that night, and they'll give you a different belt that night because they know you're winning. So that's where I've been on the same page the whole time. I believe it's going back to Trick. I believe that they just put it on Baron to prove his strength. Bleh. But whatever. I'm a firm believer that the belt should be back with Trick. And I don't think Baron should have it. I don't hate the guy personally. I just don't like his gimmick and I don't like his stature and his aura. Okay, I just don't like it. It's not good. You fired all these good wrestlers and brought these three cheaper wrestlers in. It just is kind of dumb, but whatever. We won't mention that because WWE knows what they did. So, anyhow, we go on to Lash Legend versus Tiffy. And obviously, Lash wins. I mean, Tiffy's already been busted up, supposedly. They worked out a little tape on her ribs. So we already know Lash Legend is a force to be reckoned with. Okay? God, I don't know how she played basketball and the other female players looked at her and weren't afraid. I was afraid just watching her through the TV. She's a toughie. So I think she's going to go far in the company too. And you know what? I think her tag team partner Nia is going places too because she's starting to complain about stuff, about how she's always being passed over. So, hey, hats off. I don't like her as a character because she's a bad guy, but she does have some solid fighting skills. Okay, she broke Becky's nose. Okay, so like, yeah, we'll leave that match right there on that note. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the main event, which is CM Punk versus Kevin Owens, and this match had me worried because a lot of my sources did say that internally they want to give Kevin the title, and I was I'm not a huge CM Punk fan, but I'm glad that he has the title. I like him this way, but I don't like how they portray him. And Kevin Owens, I got nothing negative to say about the guy. He's got a good character right now. He's chill. He's not acting like an idiot. But the storyline that they base this feud off of is stupid. Stupid. Okay. And just a little side note, I'm going to tell you, it's because CM Punk said some harsh words to Kevin Owens 20 years ago, and Kevin Owens never forgot it. So, I mean, that's a terrible grudge right there. That's just stupid, but whatever. That's what WWE does. Uh, so the match went on, and it was pretty hype. You know, Punk did a lot of things. Owens did a lot of moves. Got the stunner in there. CM Punk did the Anaconda and also did the GTS. I do like those moves. I like to see those moves, and I like how they sell each other's moves. It was a good match. I'm not going to deny it. It was a good match all the way around. A lot of pin scares because I was expecting Kevin Owens to win. From what all the sources were saying, I really thought that they were going to give him the belt. And I mean, because we've seen crazier shit, right? Drew McIntyre dropping the belt. Sami Zayn in 9 days. Like, I mean, come on. So who knows what their plans are? They dare to be stupid all the time. So in the middle of this, obviously in this match, after a while was going on, Sami Zayn came out. The ref got knocked out. Sami Zayn came out, gave Kevin Owens the belt, and said, "Do this, do it now." Kevin Owens had the belt but chose not to use it. And I will say, okay, that was a good move because we see how it looks on Baron. Looks terrible. Okay, so he did not use the belt and gave it to pushed it on Sammy. Well, Sammy got mad and Sammy hit KO in the face and knocked KO out. Well, then CM Punk gets up, sees what's happening, gives KO the GTS and pins him. 1, 2, 3. And then Sammy comes in and hits CM Punk. Then CM Punk is on the ground and KO's getting back up and KO gets hit again. And then CM Punk gets hit again. And then he puts the belt in CM Punk's face and he's like, "Wow, I'm a whiny bitch. This is my belt." So, it's just I don't know. I think they're working a Sammy and Kevin Owens angle. That's where I think this is going. We've seen it 50,000 times. Every time they're in the same building together, this is what they do. This is what they live to do. When they were young and they were wrestling in each other's backyards, they would be doing fake interviews saying that when they grow up, their favorite thing would be to do is to fight each other. That's where that's going to go again. But I mean, I'll always be interested in those kind of matches because they are insane. Insane as can be. So that was wrestling this week. If you got any comments or you got your own predictions or you got anything to say about what I've said tonight, just give me a comment in the box and let me know how you feel. All right, if you've made it this far, leave a tooth in the comments. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Every bit of engagement helps me get my word out.